welcome back to the Nava channel. So I haven't done a closet raid in a very long time, and while I was cleaning during this quarantine, I ran into the clothes that I planned last year for my next closet raid, so I figured I might as well just DIY them now. Last year I went to visit my family out in Hawaii. Alright, I'm gonna say it the correct way. I know a lot of us that live on the mainland say Hawaii when it's actually called Hawaii. Did I even say it right? Hawaii. Anyways, I'm just gonna say it the proper way, even though I feel fake saying it that way. So my dad's side of the family is from there, and while I was visiting them, I wanted to raid one of my family members' closets. So I picked my uncle's, and I DIY'd a blazer and a Nike jersey. Also, I'm almost done with my peg boards. Do you guys like it? So I do have to mention that I was only in Hawaii for a certain amount of time, and you know, it was really hard to raid one of my family members' closets because, you know, just scheduling and stuff like that. So these clothes are actually from Savers, but okay, there are a lot of Filipinos out in Hawaii, especially in Oahu. Any older Filipino man, they're technically automatically our titos, and that's what we call uncles as Filipinos. So technically they are my uncles because all Filipino men that are older are my titos. Okay. For my closet raids, I've been keeping the designs very simple. I would assume that you guys would want to know how to make them, but I realized that these closet raid videos aren't really tutorials. I'm just showing you guys how I transformed my family's clothing into something that I would wear. So the designs today aren't very basic, but they are fun, a little bit more fashion, you know, and I'm still gonna show you guys how I did it. So let's jump into this video. For the first tutorial, we have my Uncle Dennis, who is modeling the blazer.
What do I do?
I actually liked this blazer before I cut it up, but as you guys can see, the blazer was super big on me, and plus this is a generic blazer that you can find anywhere, so I figured I might as well just transform it. I knew I wanted to do a two-piece set and have a cropped jacket and a skirt, which I realized that's basically what I do for every single transformation. I started off by cutting out the shoulder pad and cut the blazer in half. Within the shoulder pad, there was extra padding that unfortunately I could not remove, but I kind of liked it anyways because it still gave it some structure. So next I cut the blazer in half, and then I folded in the two edges of the bottom so that I could hem it all around with a straight stitch. So even without the pads, the shoulders were just way too big. So I took in about 1 inch at the top of the shoulder, and I placed that kind of like a dart underneath the collar just so it would be hidden. For the bottom, I didn't have much material to work with, so I ended up cutting out the smallest amount possible to make a low-rise mini skirt. And you guys, when I tell you I used the smallest amount possible, I did. It was literally barely enough to cover my butt, okay? And then I repeated the same process to the top edge of the skirt like I did with the jacket hem. Also, there wasn't much I could do with the pocket flap, so I just tucked it inside and then I sewed it down just to hide it. The back slit of the blazer conveniently turned into my side slit, and for the closure, I added an invisible side zipper. With the leftover fabric, I made 2 thin straps and 1 thick strap for extra details. And this is me behind the scenes of taking a TikTok clip. I used the thick strap to make a V-strap like detail that came out from the front of the miniskirt and wrapped around my waist. For closure, I used the same buttonhole and button from the front of the blazer and added it to the back of the straps. With the 2 skinny straps, I added those around the sleeve just, you know, for some extra dimension and to make it a little less boring. And this is the final look. I love this set, and I like how the jacket and the skirt can be interchangeable and can be worn in other outfits as well. One thing that I do want to fix though is the jacket poking out in the front, so I might take that in at the back or something. I'm not really sure. We'll see. Also, there were some comments on TikTok asking where I would even wear this this out in public too. So to answer that question, I would definitely wear it to an event in LA or maybe a photo shoot or something. I think people forget that out here in LA, it is pretty normal to go out wearing something like this in public. We have my Uncle Mike, who is modeling the sleeveless Nike jersey. This jersey, let me tell you, I had come across major difficulty doing this DIY, but it ended up being my favorite out of the two, so that's okay. I challenged myself to try to do a different aesthetic than the two that I did in the past closet raids, since I felt that they both had a streetwear and baddie vibe, so I decided to do a girly look and do a puff sleeve set. The first thing I did was cut out the Nike logo using a top that I already had, since I knew I wanted to use it for the center of the top. But that first step is where I messed up everything. I was supposed to use this bang top to copy the shoulder and the neck for the top half of the top, but then I realized that I wouldn't have enough fabric because I cut too high for the first piece. So honestly, from this point, I decided to scratch my whole plan of what I first originally designed, and I literally just winged it for the rest of the tutorial. Like, I've never done that in a YouTube video before. I thought these hemmed armholes were pretty easy enough to use since they were already hemmed, so I cut those out to see if they could possibly work. I really wanted to still keep the girly vibe and look, so I decided to continue with making the puff sleeve as my original plan, and I did that by making a quick pattern using a t-shirt. To make a puff sleeve, all you have to do is create slits starting from the top and then cutting all the way down but not cutting through, and then you just have to redraw the new shape. I added extra space around my sleeve just for some seam allowance, in case you guys were wondering. Puff sleeve patterns are kind of big, so luckily I still had extra white fabric to cut two pieces out. Since I'm trash and I messed up the first piece, I had to find extra material to use so that I could extend it to make it bigger so that it could wrap around my whole body. I found it a little weird that the red line stopped abruptly, like at nothing, so I cut out more lines from the jersey so I could sew those into the seam, just so it doesn't look weird, you know? Still had a whole back piece to add, so I cut out whatever white material that I found from the jersey. Even if it had some red, it was fine. I was gonna make it work regardless. To make the puff sleeve, I just added a basting stitch to the top so that I could ruche it, and then I added that armhole piece that I cut out earlier to the top of the ruching to cover it. I also noticed that the neck collar was perfect for a sleeve cuff, so I cut that out and I added it to the bottom of the sleeve after I attached it to the body. Honestly, thanks sweet baby Jesus that the jersey had extra lining, because I was able to use all that material to make a pleated skirt. Obviously, it wasn't enough to make the pleats go all the way around, but as long as it covered the front, it was good enough for me. I added a zipper for closure at the back and a rolled hem to the bottom. And then with that extra mesh material, I made a waistband and sewed that to the top of the skirt. Honestly, I have no idea why the zipper was missing a zipper pull, but it was. So I found a star charm from a necklace and I used that as the pull, and I thought it was kind of cute. I still had a lot of red material left over, and I knew I wanted to add some type of lace-up corset detail, so I used the sides of the jersey because it made this really cool V shape. After hemming the edges, I added some grommets, and with whatever extra white material I could scrape up, I made a small string for the lace-up. And to complete the top, I sewed the piece to the back of the red panel. I told you guys I was gonna make the red work somehow, and it totally came together. I absolutely love this set, and I know I say that for every single DIY that I do, but I really truly do love this one because I'm shocked that it's made out of a men's Nike jersey, but even more shocked that I winged the entire DIY and still am really proud of it. I feel like I did achieve a more girlier, less baddie street style look, if you get what I'm saying. And you guys, you don't have to say it, I can say it for myself. I look like a cheerleader. I know. I totally get it. But honestly, if this was a uniform for a cheer squad, freaking sign me up because I wouldn't mind wearing this outfit, okay? That is all for my closet raid. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys did, please give it a big thumbs up so I can know to do another closet raid. Definitely let me know which closet you guys want me to raid next. A lot of you guys asked to raid my mom's closet. I don't think you guys understand. My mom, I borrow her clothes. She's just as extra as me. Here are some photos to prove it. There's nothing that I could really transform, okay? I'm just saying. I hope you guys are all staying healthy and staying safe during this quarantine. I love you guys all so freaking very much. Also, thank you guys for 600k on TikTok. I love you guys all so much, and we're almost to 1 million. Oh my freaking god! Anyways, okay, I love you guys all so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
I've been scoring, cheap thrills bore me, blah blah, you bore me, caution, warning. I've been scoring, I've been scoring.